It is time to do the mid-year freakout tag. I have done this every year since I have been on YouTube. I love this tag because we can talk about all of the books that I have loved or not loved and all of the pretty shiny books as well. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and hopefully you find some books in here that maybe you will love. Maybe you will find a new favorite read. Excited to go through all of these books with you. The mid-year freakout tag, I do not know who originally created it, but a lot of booktubers each and every year, including myself, do this at the midway point to kind of do a check-in about favorite books so far, favorite sequel, books we're excited for. There are 13 questions and I am going to try to keep it at one book per question. However, there is going to be one or two questions that cannot be answered with just one book. Before we get into the video, always make sure that you like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. And then also check my description box below for all of my links to my socials, Discord if you want to come chat with us, the Fable app that is down below as well that will take you to my Fable book club, Patreon, Pango Books account where you can buy some books that I am unhauling, and so many more. The first question is best book of the year so far. This book will appear again at a later question. It was my favorite read so far, and then also you'll see why it comes in later on, but that is A Language of Dragons by SF Williamson. This book was so amazing. It has a World War II vibe in an alternate reality where dragons instead of Nazis are invading the entire world. We have a Queen Dragon and the President of England who have kind of a pact of peace. We have a caste system where if you are level 1, you are the elite of the elite, and if you are number 3, then you are the poorest of the poor and live in the slums. This book is so good. It is YA, but it deals with a girl who can speak multiple languages. She is meeting with one of the language professors at the university to get an entry in there whenever her parents are arrested for treason. This spurs our girl into action where she feels that they are wrongfully convicted. So she sets out finding the rebellion dragon that is in the library chained up, releases the dragon to get revenge on the president, and she is then caught and taken to Bletchley Park where she has to spy on the dragons, learn their language, and find out what is gonna happen and if there is a war on the horizon. This book was so good. It is very fantasy focused. There is a very small romance in here, hardly any at all, but I loved it. I love the world building. I loved everything that SF Williamson did, and I saw that book 2 will be coming out at some point later this year or beginning of next year. So if you like World War II vibes and dragons and alternate reality to the World War II concept, definitely pick up A Language of Dragons. Question number 2 is best sequel book so far this year, and of course I had to put The Bond That Burns by Briar Bolin. This book was just recently picked up traditionally, so it is being re-released in beautiful covers and sprayed edges. This book also features dragons, it features vampires. Medra wakes up in this world of vampires that she never even knew existed. She thought that she was dead. She is whisked into this world where she is bonded to one of the heirs of the 4 houses at this academy. She is bullied continuously. They think that she is a dragon rider that has long since been lost. Dragons have not been in this world for a very long time. They think that her landing in this world will spurn the dragons to come back and the world will be back to right again. As she is bonded to Blake Drakeharrow, who is one of the most powerful heirs in this kingdom, she does not want to be a part of it, neither does the other girl that is bonded with Blake as well. There is some drama, there is some angst, there is tension. There are multiple love interests in here, which I was surprised about. I'm hoping that Briar Bolin takes it into a why choose type of romance, but I don't know where it's gonna go. We were gonna be getting book 3 3 around the summer time, but since it was picked up traditionally, the third book in this series will come out in March of 2026, and I'm okay with that because she deserves all of the praise for this. If you like Harry Potter vibes, if you like Hermione fanfic, you will absolutely love this series. It is so good. Question number 3 is a new release that I want to read, but I haven't yet, and that is Silver Elite by Dani Francis. This book has been talked about ad nauseum in the past 2 months. I need to know what the hype is about. I need to know what is going on. This is a book that is a dystopian fantasy romance. I believe what I know about it is our girl has powers, and you're not supposed to have powers in this world. They are hidden. Somehow she is found out. She is taken into this part of the military called the Silver Elite. That is all I know. People have been raving about this book. I want to get to it so bad. This was my book of the month pick in May. They did special sprayed edges to it. So I am desperate to fit this into any of my TBRs in the next couple of months. Question number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. That is by far Under the Oak Tree, Volume 2 by Suji Kim. I read Volume 1, the novel version, at the end of last year. It was so good. It's a fantasy romance that is following our girl who is betrothed to this warrior, and she does not want to be a part of this marriage, but since her father, the Duke, is allowed to pick who she will marry, she has no choice. We start out with their wedding night. Things happen, and the next morning he goes off to battle and is not seen again for 3 years. In these 3 years, she is still living with her father, the Duke. He blames her for him not returning to collect her and her not doing her duty on the wedding night, that maybe she had upset this guy. Who knows what had happened, but he blames her for everything. She lives a very rough life in this household when one day her husband shows up, takes her away, and they're off to his castle in this kingdom. He is this renowned dragon killer. Everyone praises him. He is the best of the best warriors in this land. Our girl is very shy, very timid, and when she gets to this castle, he tells her that she can do whatever she wants to the castle to make it a home. It is their romance. It is a very slow-moving plot. It is not fast-paced. There's not a whole lot of high stakes until you get towards the end of the book. But watching these characters grow, watching them learn each other, learn to love each other in this arranged marriage concept was so amazing. I feel like the author did a beautiful job, and I cannot wait to get to volume 2. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment, and hands down, I didn't even need to think about this. That is The Right Move by Liz Tomforty. I know this is a very loved book by so many people in the Windy City series. Everyone says that Ryan Shea is book boyfriend elite. He is the best of the best when it comes to book boyfriend. I sadly was not connecting with the story. I was not in it. I didn't feel like I was loving Ryan Shea like everyone else is, and I was so sad about it, and that's why it's my biggest disappointment. I wanted to love this book. I wanted to be one of those mega fans of this series, and unfortunately it didn't do it for me, so I ended up having to DNF the entire series. Question number 6 was biggest surprise this year, and again, this book is making a comeback on this list, and that is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. We already know what it's about. I've already talked about that. The reason why it's the biggest surprise is I was actually going to unhaul this. This was in, I believe, an unhaul video towards the beginning of the year. I had a subscriber put on there, why don't you try a couple chapters, see if you like it, and then unhaul it. I'm so glad that subscriber had mentioned that to me, because this would have not been one of my favorite reads of the year, and sadly I would have missed out on an amazing story. Biggest surprise, I did not see that coming. Question number 7 is favorite new author. It can be new to me or a debut author. I am going with Eliza Reign because I read A Court of Ravens and Ruin back in April or May. This book, 5-star read. I loved every minute of it. I loved the Viking and Norse mythology vibes in here. Eliza Reign did an amazing job at weaving this story and this world and making it very complex and dense, and me rooting for the characters in such a short book. I cannot wait to continue this series. This book is about our girl who is a gold wielder. She makes staves in the gold court for the Fae to wield their magic. When one day they are ransacked, she is taken as a prisoner into the Shadow Court, where she is tasked to help one of the men in the Shadow Court unveil this secret and this mystery that is lying beneath the Shadow Court. She is starting to learn the politics and the ways of the world, and that everything that she thought may not be exactly true. I loved this. Again, 5 stars. Eliza Reign took me by storm with this one, and I'm ready to get on to book 2. Question number 8 is fictional crush, and I absolutely had to go with Lucas from Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I loved this man. He was so amazing. The way that the banter was with him and our female main character, the fact that in the audiobook he has like a Norwegian accent. He is very polite but also like very alpha and extremely sexy. Ali Hazelwood wrote this man for us to drool over, and drool I did. Question number 9 was favorite character. I'm definitely going with Vivian in A Language of Dragons. She is quiet and timid but also spunky and will get to the bottom of anything that she comes across. She is smart. She definitely takes responsibility for her actions. I loved everything about this, and who doesn't love the fact that a girl started a civil war, can learn the language of dragons, and then is going to be the one to stop the civil war that she started. I absolutely loved Vivian in this book. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry. I have to put Lady of Embers by Melissa K. Roerich on here. The ending of that book with our girl and Soren, I was crying. I was sobbing. I felt for the characters so bad. This is a fantasy romance where there are fae in this world. Our girl is an assassin. She is raised by the assassin lord when she is trying to get revenge on the fire prince that killed her mother. That is how it starts. We are so far deep into this world with the politics and the expansive plot lines that it's no longer what it started out to be. But I was sobbing at the end of Lady of Embers. Melissa K. Roerich really knew how to tug on our heartstrings. Question 11 is a book that made me happy, and of course I had to put Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This was a 5-star read also for me this year. Came absolutely out of nowhere. This is the first time I've ever read anything that Hannah Bonham Young has written, and it will not be the last, I can assure you. This book is about our girl who is at a Halloween party at her best friend's house. Whenever she meets another man who is dressed as a pirate just as her, they end up deciding to have a one-night stand. They left it at that, didn't even exchange phone numbers, when several weeks later our girl is pregnant and she did not expect that. She ends up tracking down the man. He takes full responsibility, comes in out of nowhere, is the nicest human being possible, and their romance, their banter, their development, everything was so real and raw and heartfelt that it made me so happy. I was kicking and giggling my feet the entire time I was reading this. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book I got this year. This was the hardest of the questions for me to pick anything. So many books I got are absolutely beautiful and stunning, but if I had to pick a favorite, I would have to go with the Kingdom of Lies series by Stasia Stark that Arcane Society did. The A Court This Cruel and Lovely is the first book, but I love the colorway on this. It is just absolutely beautiful. It catches my eye every time that I see this cover. I loved it so much, and if I had to pick a favorite, it would have to be this one. But I got so many, especially in June, that are contenders for the top spot. Question number 13 is books that need to be read by the end of this year. I do not have one to hold up because I have so many that are on my want to read list. I want to finish up a lot of series, or at least continue series that I'm in. I have then also hauled so many books that I want to get to. My shelves are filled with so many unread books. So I'm just gonna say all of the books that I physically own and probably don't own at this point. It's a generic answer. It's the best one that I have. Alright everyone, those are all the questions in the mid-year freakout tag. What are your answers to some of the questions below? I love to know what your favorite book so far is this year. What's your biggest surprise? What's your biggest disappointment? Don't leave any spoilers in the comments, but definitely answer a few. I love to see your answers. And if you do not want to leave me a comment, but at least let me know that you are here, leave me a water emoji for deep end because Lucas is literally everything. But I hope you all had a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. Bye!